reason you're looking for this is because you want to force a private company to give you benefits that you are not willing to negotiate with in a voluntary way. And he said, and you're also trying to force the taxpayer to get the government to do that. And you're trying to force people to accept something that they fundamentally don't agree with. That's not tolerance. That's servitude. And it was interesting to see that Tucker Carlson, who is going to be on the show tomorrow, he's going to be in studio. He's the editor of the Daily Caller and longtime correspondent, commentator on network television. He's going to be in studio tomorrow with Alex Jones. And he was raked over the coals when he gave the example of somebody being forced to make a wedding cake or take wedding pictures of a homosexual wedding that they didn't want to take pictures of and being sued by that. And it's amazing when you look at a situation like this. This is what the respondent said to that. The other side of the argument came from the anchor in this program, McCollum, and she said, well, you're either open for business or you're not open for business. You can't choose based on different criteria. You know, I remember a time in America when people had signs up, and I think a lot of places still do. We reserve the right to refuse service to anyone we want. I don't know why they would do that, because they're in it to make money. I remember when I was a young child, they had one business, a convenience store, would not allow junior high school students in their store. And even after I got older, I never went back. I don't know why a businessman would do that, but if they want to make that decision, that's their choice. And Tucker Carlson said, it's called tolerance. When you try to force me to bake a cake for your gay wedding and threaten me with prison if I don't make it, that's called fascism. It really is fascism. You know, fascism isn't just extreme nationalism. Fascism has an economic component to it. That means that tentatively you have private property, but really you don't have control over that. The government has control over it. That's why we're really going into fascism in this country, where the government dictates everything that you can do. You don't really have any private property. Now, we also got coming up in this program on the second hour, we've got Wolfgang Halbig, and he's going to be talking to us about his Sandy Hook investigation. It's amazing to see that the mainstream media is now starting to question the Boston bombing narrative and question the fact that you had the FBI pick up a witness to the Boston bombing, somebody that they said they were going to take in for questioning. He told his friends, they're going to kill me. And in fact, he wound up being shot multiple times, once in the back of the head. You've got even Rachel Maddow talking about this now. It's pretty amazing. Maybe she sees the handwriting on the wall as Piers Morgan bit the dust. But she really hit this, and it's better late than never. Let's listen to some of the things that she said on the MSNBC show that she has. You guys got that clip?
In January, FBI Director James Comey announced that the Bureau had completed its shooting review in this man's death. He was shot while being questioned by the FBI and other law enforcement authorities back in May. I'm going to show you a couple of photos, which I should warn you are a little bit graphic and might be disturbing. But from these photos that were taken of that young man's body in the morgue, it appears that he was shot 7 times, including once in the top of the head. Law enforcement officials have said that the man was himself unarmed when the FBI shot and killed him. And although the FBI's report on this man's shooting is reportedly ready to go, according to James Comey, he says the report on that shooting has been completed. It still has not been released. The FBI even blocked the county medical examiner from releasing the autopsy report in this case, even though it was completed and ready to go. And again, these images are graphic, I'll warn you again. But the reason we have to count the bullet holes ourselves, looking at these photographs in order to try to figure out what happened here, is because the FBI won't let that autopsy report be released. The county's happy to release it. The FBI is stopping them from doing so. The reason we have those photographs taken in the morgue is because a friend of the dead man took those photos himself when he went to identify the body, and then he brought the photos to the dead man's father. And it was the dead man's father who then released the photographs publicly, demanding answers about why the FBI had shot and killed his son, why he had to get shot apparently 7 times, including the top of the head, when he himself was unarmed. And that is where the story goes from sort of weird and worrying to intensely weird and worrying. Because the man who was killed by the FBI in this condo in Orlando, Florida, He was an immigrant from Russia. He was living here legally, but his family is still in Russia. And when he died, his family held his funeral in Russia. And the friend who had identified his body in the morgue and who took those photos in the morgue to give to the man's father, he attended the funeral in Russia. He left the U.S. to go to the funeral in Russia. Even though that man has a green card and lives here in the U.S. legally and is legally allowed to travel in and out of the United States, after that funeral, he was not allowed back.
A lot of people's lives and bodies are out of balance. AlkaVision Plasma pH drops optimize pH level and get rid of harmful waste and acid. Just a few drops in water restores vibrance and energy and gets you back in balance. Now order 2 bottles and get $10 off your order. Sign up for monthly auto shipping and save 25%. Call 800-518-7615 or visit alkavision.com. Alkalize your body. Supercharge your health at alkavision.com.
Uncover a simple privacy loophole that can stop the NSA spying thugs in their tracks at privacylockdown.com. The NSA has already shut down hundreds of sites, and to truth be told, they could shut down this operation at any time. See, the privacy loophole I'm about to show you allows you to make all your sensitive information disappear in the next 30 days or less. Go to privacylockdown.com now to take your life off the grid and see the loophole in the NSA and FBI spying machine before they close the loophole forever. Go to privacylockdown.com.
In the U.S., 1 in every 50 homes will have a break-in this year. Burglars call it smash and grab. Police call it robbery. We call it avoidable. We are Fake TV, a simple electronic device that can fool even professional burglars. Fake TV easily plugs into any outlet and simulates the changing colors of a television. To a burglar, it looks like someone must be home watching TV, so they'll likely move on to an easier target. At only $29.95, Fake TV costs less than a month of most alarm monitoring plans and comes with free shipping. Order your Fake TV by calling 877-5-FAKE-TV or go to faketv.com. That's 877-532-5388 or faketv.com. Fake TV, the burglar deterrent.
Ladies and gentlemen, America is more dangerous than ever, with 9 million property crimes last year. Crimes are happening every day. Be proactive and protect your home and family. Simply Safe Home Security System helps guard against criminals, thugs, and thieves. Listen, Simply Safe is the absolute best alarm system and company in America today. Here's why. We offer a 60-day money-back guarantee. It's affordable, no contracts to sign, and is built with the latest wireless technology. Simply Safe protects the ones you love the most, even if a criminal cuts your power and phone lines. When you order Simply Safe today, you'll receive a 10% discount along with a free keychain remote. Don't wait. This offer is only valid through February 28th. Take advantage of this special discount offer at GetSimplySafe.com. That's GetSimplySafe.com. Protect your home and family now at GetSimplySafe.com.
Hi folks, Alex Jones here with some important information. I want to tell you about Matt Redhawk and his team of patriots over at My Patriot Supply. Several years ago, Matt was sitting in his 2-bedroom apartment, frustrated with the direction this country was headed and the charlatans willing to sell us out for a quick buck. Deciding to take action, a company run by patriots for patriots was born. My Patriot Supply has never taken a loan or accepted outside funding. They now operate 2 distribution facilities and employ over 50 hardworking American men and women. It is rare to find companies who practice what they preach. And that's why I stock my pantry with high-quality storable foods from My Patriot Supply. Go to mypatriotsupply.com/Alex today for special offers on emergency food storage or call their preparedness specialist at 866-229-0927. That's 866-229-0927. Do business with someone who shares your values. mypatriotsupply.com/Alex.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight filling in for Alex. We're going to be joined in just a few minutes by Paul Joseph Watson from London. He's going to be talking to us about what's going on in the Ukraine We see the IMF smells the problems. They see an opportunity. It's like blood in the water. They're coming in to get them in debt to the bankers. And, of course, we've been telling you, and many others have been telling you, that we believe that this was set up by the bankers in the first place to get them in the sphere and influence of the EU. You know, they might want to watch the debate that's coming up between Nigel Farage and Nick Clegg in the UK. And, of course, we've talked to Nigel Farage here on the radio show many times. A masterful debater. This guy is amazing, and he goes right to the heart of the EU. He's elected to the EU as an opponent to the EU, and he's the guy who stands up and calls them out on their takeovers of countries like Greece and Italy, where they take out duly elected prime ministers and put in Goldman Sachs bankers. It's just amazing what they're doing in the EU. So before the Ukraine throws itself into the EU basket, they ought to take a look at what's being done in countries like Greece, like Italy, see what the bankers are doing there. And, of course, now the bankers are starting to come in, offering them the lure of money to try to get them under their control, just as they've done the United States and so many other countries. So we'll be talking to Paul Joseph Watson at the bottom of the hour about that. Now, we went out in the last segment with a clip from Rachel Maddow, and she's questioning the assassination. And folks, if you're picked up by the FBI and you tell people they're going to kill me, and you're in a room full of FBI agents, you're unarmed, and you get shot 6 times and then once in the back of the head, that's an execution, folks. That's not a questioning. That's exactly what he knew was going to happen. And it's about time that somebody in the mainstream media complained about that. You know, I think Rachel Maddow came around to do this because it just looks ridiculous for them to ignore this. They're losing all their credibility. That's why Piers Morgan's ratings were down in the tank. He had no credibility. So I think they see the handwriting on the wall. I think they see that they need to do that. Even CNN that was really twisting and turning the government's narrative on both Sandy Hook and the Boston bombing, even CNN is questioning this. Let's play a little bit of this clip from CNN where they're questioning the Boston bombing and the events surrounding that on CNN.
Do they perhaps then not see that there's a wider role, that Todashev and others may not have had anything to do with the bombings at the marathon? Like I told you before, all we have is this one official statement. It's the FBI's contention that Ibrahim Todashev implicated Tamerlan Tsarnaev in that grisly triple murder in Waltham. And so you have to sit, there's a lot of questions here. I mean, my investigation starts with Waltham, and there are a lot of leads that local officials didn't go through there. And then it ends in actually late fall, where I find the FBI is still reaching out to Ibrahim Todashev's friends, asking him very, very basic questions about the Boston. Well, while that may have been, you know, at least some respite for these victims' families in Waltham who have been waiting and waiting for some sort of solution, resolution. I don't think that was I think that's where you're wrong. It's not at all. I mean, the victims' families are really, really hurting here. Devastated. I mean, we had a. Let me just ask you one question. There was one spot where I just stopped and my mouth dropped open, and that was this: the girlfriend of Todashev is perhaps the only person who can give us any insight what his reaction was when he heard about the bombings, i.e., did she suspect he may have known something about it when he heard about the bombings and the death of Tamerlan, that maybe something was afoot? All she says she told me is she was in the condo with him and he heard about the Boston Marathon bombings, assumably after Tamerlan Tsarnaev died, and he was very, very sad. Maybe just sad for the death of a friend, or sad for the reality of it all? I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, it's hard to say. We just know that they were good friends, and there's a lot of questions here. Shockingly, as good friends, it's amazing he wasn't investigated back in 2011. It's a great piece. You've done a lot of work. I highly recommend people take a look. There is a lot that you have uncovered and you've written about it.
Well, that's it. Yeah, that's CNN, folks. That's CNN taking a critical look at the government's narrative about the Boston bombing. They were set up. They were working with the CIA. You can see them going back and forth into Russia. You can see Russia asking them questions about this. Just as the American government is doing in the Ukraine, they've been pushing in Chechnya. You've got Uncle Tsarnaev, who is married to the head of the CIA station in that area. I mean, come on, this is as phony as it gets, folks. And the government is not above their own conspiracies. We've got them saying that Barrett Brown and Anonymous were plotting to overthrow the government. How absurd does it get? They got Barrett Browning in jail in Dallas because he linked to some data on a website. Can they throw people in jail for that? Our government is out of control. We're going to be right back with Paul Joseph Watson. Stay tuned.
We're on the mark.